I'm putting some clothes on.
Wait, hold on. You sleep naked?
I'm on my way, Deja.
Oh, yes, baby. Come as you are. I'm like the church. Yeah, bring that thing swinging.
Zach, the water is going to run over. Please help me.
Deja! You better have on some damn clothes. Talk so I can hear your voice.
You know what? For those who are like, Jeremy, you're always too hard on Fatima. I don't ever see you being so hard on Zach. Well, this is a video where I'm just going in. I did not like the way Zach was portrayed at all during these two episodes. I mean, I will give him some, props for standing his ground against Fatima when they were laying in bed during episode 6 and she just went in on him, but he had a lot of good clapbacks to her. But I really just want to focus on the idea of episode 5 leading into episode 6, but episode 5 specifically. This man went into Deja's apartment 3 times in the same night. First time when, he was helping her get out of her car and carried her in, after dropping her because Fatima's mom was standing outside. Then he came back out, went in the house to meet, Fatima's mom. Fatima went out to Club Eden. Zach is on the phone with his boy Tony, overhears the loud music being played, so he goes over there to turn it down, and of course she tries to seduce him. He leaves. Later on that night, a phone call. Oh, Zach, I can't turn off the bathtub. It's about to overflow. He goes over there for the 3rd time, in which case he covers his eyes to avoid seeing her in the tub. She sends him a photo of Fatima at the club with another guy, and Zach pretty much, stares her down while she's in the tub, leading into episode 6 where, strangely enough, they've been sitting on the couch for who knows how much time, and he's talking to her about how, hey, leave me and my girl alone, and I don't want you, and then, he leaves. So here's the problem. I think this was awful for Zach to go over there 3 times, due to the fact that, well, number one, he should have known, wait a minute, if Deja has this arm brace and this thing around her neck talking about how sore she is, and then this apparently big guy, a Deja daddy, dropped her, how was she able to drive home if she's in so much pain that she can't even get out of her car to go into her apartment? And he even says, look, you can't out hustle a hustler. I'm a hustler too. This is stupid. You're trying to play me. Then why would you agree to help her? Like I said in my review, it would be different if Deja was trying to pull the legal card, like, hey, Zach, you better help me, or you better sleep with me, or I'm going to, press charges on your girl. In that situation, Zach would have to find a way to prove that Deja is lying, and it is complicated. Then I'd be like, okay, he definitely is in, he's stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. But then his defense could be like, well, Deja did say something about being dropped by somebody, one of her clients, and then on top of that, well, Deja, I can also press charges against you as a landlord for tampering with things in your apartment for the sake of having me to come over to fix them in a attempt to seduce me. So, it could have been one of those situations where Deja would have the upper hand over Zach, but we can see him use his street smarts and maybe a little bit of Fatima's legal know-how to basically, outwit her as opposed to beating her up. But, he goes over there both times after carrying her in. And I'm just like, why is Zach? I feel like Tyler had nothing else to do with Zach's character as opposed to making him so dumb that he would go over there and it's supposed to be comedic, where it's even worse than the 7-minute elevator, outburst he had on Paul and Fatima in episode 4. Because of the fact that Zach should know better than this. He even goes so far as to say, Deja is taking everything in me not to, F you right now. But I only came over here to pretty much tell you to stop. Stop all this pretending to be hurt. Stop all this pretending to need me to come over here. Stop calling my girl out of her name. And, I'm trying to save you. It's like, I'm not scared of her. I'm more afraid of what my girl will do to you if you keep on this path you're going down. Like, leave me alone. I don't want to be with you. And then she scoffs saying, I don't want to be with you either. I just want some D. So she pretty much just wants to have sex. And it's possible she's done this with other landlord or property managers to avoid paying rent, which is something that she's been ducking and dodging. So it's like, well, Zach, I mean, you don't even have to continue playing these games. Just straight up say, if you don't have rent by such and such a date, you're out of here. That 6-month contract. I guess maybe she's using her doctor's note and all as an excuse. I don't really know if that's plausible, where, hey, you know, if I can't work because I have a medical situation and I have doctor's proof of not being able to pay rent, then I get an extension. I don't know how that works. I just know I always have my rent paid, you know, like a week in advance just to make sure it was in there. But I do feel like when it comes to the Zach situation, he's playing with fire even though he doesn't have to. He doesn't even have to be in the kitchen, but he keeps putting his hand on the you know, the burner on top of the oven just to do it. And I know this example might seem a bit morbid, but personally speaking, I don't think Michael Jackson ever did anything with those kids he had at his house. But after the first, you know, allegations, and he paid, you know, off the family to get out of that mess. But then, you know, if you're accused of something like, you know, in regards to inappropriate behavior of children, you shouldn't put yourself in a situation where you continue to have kids staying over at your house and whatnot, because even if you are 100% innocent, people are always going to wonder. So you wouldn't want to interact with younger people like that, you know, unless it's like, you know, your families, nephews, that kind of thing. But in the situation with Zach, it's kind of the same thing in terms of, you already know Fatima and Deja don't like each other. You know, Deja's trying to play you. She's trying to, you know, get in bed with you. But you constantly, and this is a situation where I can't even defend Zach as a property manager trying to, like, yeah, I feel bad for Zach because, yeah, I know Deja wants him, but he has to, like, split between his lust for Deja, his fear of what Fatima will do, you know, to her if Deja steps out of line again, and then also his responsibilities to Deja as a property manager, which, you know, the moment where he went over there the second time to cut off the music, but then he noticed that the AC was tampered with and it was hot. He told her not to mess around with it, which I'm like, wait, I thought, you know, her apartment, she gets to, you know, do what she wants with the thermostat. But he probably figured out that she turned off the AC to make it so hot in there. That way, you know, maybe later on, after the whole music thing, if that seduction tactic doesn't work, she'll be like, oh, the AC's broken, Zach, can you come look at it? So he pretty much nipped that in the bud. But the fact that he is constantly putting himself into situations where he's going over there for some BS excuses, like the music and whatnot, couldn't he be like, well, Deja, I'll call the cops and say you're disturbing the peace, or, you know, you are making the tub overflow and you're messing up the floor, and then that's going to, you know, you're going to have to pay for that because there's nothing wrong with the tub. You did it on purpose. So it's just those situations where, like, you know, like Mike is like, look, charges are clear, you're innocent, but in the court of public opinion, if you continue to interact with youngins the way you do, it's going to look suspect, and you might find yourself in another lawsuit / compromising position. What is Zach doing? The exact same thing in terms of knowing this is some BS. You ducked and dodged a few bullets, literally, from Fatima about Deja. Yet you continuously go over there. Like, you know good and well this girl is coming up with every excuse in the book to get you to come over because Fatima isn't home. Then, not only after the whole bath fiasco, when she shows you the photo that a girl or, you know, a friend of hers at Club Eaton sent her of Fatima and some guy, you decide to just chill on the couch with Deja to talk as opposed to just up and leaving. I have no excuses for Zach whatsoever. I'm in no way, shape, or form trying to defend his actions like I tweeted out. It's just that, you know, I commend Zach for putting his foot down, for telling Deja what's what in regards to his relationship with Fatima, and the fact that, you know, stop calling her out of her name, respect the relationship, stop throwing yourself at me, it's not going to happen. But he just put himself in that compromising position, and it was pretty messed up. And then he walks out of there with a hard on, and, you know, he makes a good point. Fatima, if me and her really did something, I wouldn't have been hard when I came out of her apartment. But it looks bad. It really looks bad. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I don't like how Tyler wrote Zach to be in these episodes when it came to Deja. It was just ridiculous. We know Deja is not done with him yet. You know what? Fine then, you lame ass. I want somebody who want me. So what do you think? I just think it was dumb. I think if nothing else, Zach should have had a reduced role in the episode, or hell, even if it was nothing more than a couple of cutaways to him, you know, trying to figure out whether or not to use this new side chick. I mean, we got that scene briefly, but, you know, that was it. Just the brief scene of him looking at it and then taking out of the box, and then he ends up at Deja's again. And then, of course, we see him using it at the end of episode 6. But I think it would have been interesting for him to contemplate that as opposed to going over to Deja over and over again when he knows it was just for some BS nonsense. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.